Michelle is in Krugersdorp. Good evening to you, Michelle.
Hi, I think I'm going to dampen your conversation because I want to talk about something serious.
It's an open line. It's an open line.
Yes,
Michelle.
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, the South African Motor Body Repairs Association are basically saying that the insurance body needs to give us the vehicles that have been written off. This is on a database that you can see. What's currently happening is, let's say a vehicle is, they write it off due to the fact that it's uneconomical to repair. They've got the different insurers have got different criteria.
Yes.
But now the problem is this lands up typically. Look, with me being in Krugersdorp, SMD is all the written off cars go there. Then you will have people that go and buy it, repair it, and then they put it on showroom floor. So in other words, you then go in, you then think this vehicle is pretty much okay, and it's sold at inflated prices. And there's a recent case where a vehicle got sold at 230,000 Rand, and only after it was sold, there was problems within the first 7 days. Now listen to this. And they then discovered that this was a complete write-off. The chassis had been, so it shouldn't have just been a code 2, it should have been a code 3 write-off. It was classified incorrectly. There's no recourse for the pensioner who bought this. Can you imagine? You had a functioning car, you traded that in on this other car that you thought was a dream car. You then discover it's not. You get a forensic report. You prove that it is, that it was shoddy workmanship. It was just made to look like it was, repaired. Then the scary part is they say even the people at the DECRA testing centers, they are not qualified to do this level of investigation to determine, okay, this car has been patched together with pieces and stuff. They just do a tick box exercise. Now, this is a major concern for me. I've got a woman in my complex. She bought a vehicle, and this vehicle looked fine. But in the year that she's had this vehicle, the engine has popped twice. So she's had to now obviously pay for an engine
bought
to
from
be rebuilt.
SMD?
No, not from SMD, from a dealership.
Okay.
But I said to her when the engine popped the first time, it was not like she didn't put water in the radiator or it ran out of oil. It was working fine, and then the next thing, the engine popped. I had to go and fetch on the side of the road, and I said to her, listen, I'm concerned about this vehicle. And she said, but she did the DECRA test. And I said, okay, I understand it, but I want you to take it to someone that can check that it's structurally sound. And she was like, no, the insurance will deal with it. Well, guess what the insurance did? They referred her to some place where they then repaired the vehicle. And not even 3 months after that, it was repaired, and it was done after the initial, I think it was within the 6-month window period. So the dealership, with extended warranty on the second-hand car, paid. It popped again. Now, subsequent to that, so it's no longer under this extended warranty. Then she had to repair it herself. And then she thought it was all good. And I told her I've got a funny feeling about this vehicle. Guess what? Now there's other issues that are coming with the vehicle. And I'm saying to her, no, we must have it structurally tested. And guess what? This vehicle was in an accident. So she bought something, financed something. She's a single parent. So now she's locked in a finance agreement. She can't go back to the dealership and say, please take back your piece of crap that you sold me, knowingly sold me a vehicle that was not declared. You as the consumer can't go and check it on a database because this is something that the motor corporations were asking for transparency of the insurer's database. And I don't understand why they're not allowing it because it was fought for. They said it would be made available, and now they've decided they're not going to. So this means the insurance industry is complicit in allowing, salvage vehicles to be bought, fixed up. They land up on showroom floors. You buy it. You're financing it at inflated prices. This is a major, major problem. And then you wonder, why do we have so many deaths on our road? Besides the fact that people can buy their licenses and all, this kind of stuff makes me infuriated because it goes to show that there is complicity within the insurance industry, and then they've got the cheek to say, oh no, they're not making it available because maybe somebody else's criteria for repairing the vehicle is different to the other. But we're talking about structurally damaged cars that should have been written off, never to go on the road.
Not making what available?
Basically, no, okay, they're not making it available, the Code 2 classification on the vehicle identification, vehicle registration base, to say that that vehicle was involved in an accident so serious that the company so in other words, it was still under financing, and the insurance industry wrote it off.
Yeah.
So you as the consumer are buying that, not knowing that that vehicle was in, and it's this bad. The airbags have deployed, and then whoever's fixing it doesn't tell you that the airbag is not being replaced. You only find that out if you're involved in an accident. You can get killed. So really, this is something that it makes my blood boil.
And it's not a new story, Michelle. I remember hearing about, what you're talking about in the past, and the very company that you're talking about has been mentioned before, and the whole sort of categorization of cars that have been fixed after an accident not being done properly. And you're saying that your conclusion is that there's complicity between the insurance industry and companies that sell cars that have been fixed but not properly categorized to be sold in the right sort of way, is what you're saying to me.
Well, basically, because you cannot determine that this car has been involved in an accident. When you look at it, it will seem structurally sound.
No, sure.
It's only when, so in other words, if you know that car hoisted up, and it's not just a case of looking for slight bends and that type of things, or that it's been cut and sliced and pieced together. So let's say they buy two different sections of the car because the front end was now damaged, and they cut it. So in other words, this would take a skilled person. So even a normal mechanic might not be able to
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, precisely.
So what if you had a magic wand, what would you be calling for right now?
I would be saying that the insurance industry is complicit, and we need to understand why are they. Look, the idea of going to a salvage yard is so that whatever parts are usable, it can be sold off the vehicle. But it should never be that vehicle that they can sell the vehicle for a rebuild, because that's where the problem comes in.
Sure.
And my concern is, I know this lady in my complex. When I previously bought a vehicle a couple of years ago, I also had the same thing, and it was checked. And it's not as if SMD is the culprit here. They just happen to be a salvage yard. But the process is enabling. And it's like with everything in South Africa. Money changes hands, and people are more interested in making a fast buck than being ethical. And that's what really, it riles me. Because how can people with clear conscience think someone will buy this vehicle? It's not just putting that person's life in danger, all the other people. And I think we need to get to a point in this country where we say this type of things, if we have to take every single industry on, doesn't matter whether it's the vehicle industry or any industry, whether it's the food processing industry, we need to say, no, we are